Hello, Accelerated Math 6-7 students. We are now starting Module 3, Video 7, or Lesson 7. Okay, so video for Module 3, Lesson 7, and it's called Absolute Value. Absolute value can be found on page 59 of my comp book. So here we are, absolute value. Okay, our goal for today is, today we will practice finding the absolute value of numbers. Okay. The question that I want you to be thinking about during today's lesson is, what does the absolute value tell you about a number? Okay, so things to know. Okay, we're going to take a look at these things to know. Things to know. Absolute value is the distance between a number and zero. We've talked about this a little bit already, but it's never a bad thing to review it and get it down in your book so that you have it. So absolute value is the distance between a number and zero. Distance is a positive number of spaces from one number to another. Why did I write positive right here? Well, the reason why I wrote positive is that you cannot have negative spaces. They don't exist, okay? So one thing that we have to be really, really, really dedicated to is that whenever you're talking about distance in math, distance is always a positive amount. No matter if you're traveling from a negative value to a positive value, or if you're traveling from a negative value to another negative value, the distance between them is still always positive. So distance is a positive number of spaces from one number to another. Okay? The symbol that we use for absolute value, you guys might have seen it already and may have not known what it is, so this would be a good lesson for you. But the symbol used for absolute value are those two brackets that stand straight. Okay, so there's a straight line here and a straight line here, and usually there's a number that sits inside. So the symbol that we use is two straight brackets tell you to find the distance of the number that's inside of the brackets from the number 0. Okay, so for example, if we try these right here, you're going to use the absolute value symbols to tell you what is the distance of 3 from 0. Okay, so let's try it. You have a number line. Okay, here's our number line right here. And we're taking the absolute value of 3. So that means that here's our 0. 1, 2, 3. Here's 3. So what we're trying to figure out is, what is the distance from 0 to 3? So you're counting from here to here. Count the spaces. So 1, 2, 3. Well, the spaces is 3. So everyone in the world says the absolute value of 3 equals 3, because that's the number of spaces from one to the other. Okay, the next one that it says that we're going to do is -8. So we can use our same number line. We're going to figure out the absolute value of -8. Okay, now remember, absolute value is the distance from 0. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This happens to be -8. So we're sitting at 0. We're sitting at -8. We want to find what is the distance in between -8 and 0. Now remember, distance is always positive. So count how much space is in there. How much is in there is how we think about it. So count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 spaces. So the absolute value for -8, absolute value for -8 equals 8 spaces. So the answer is 8. Okay? Notice this one is 3, this one is 8, because we're talking about the number of spaces. And spaces are real, so they have to be positive. Okay? So now let's try the next one. The next one says -5. Okay, well, we can do that. Let's erase this a little bit because we already did 8. So now let's do -5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's -5. So we're going here, and we want to know from 0 to -5. So we're going to count the spaces. Count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that the absolute value of -5 is, count them again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It equals 5 spaces. So it's positive, 5 spaces. Okay? And then we have one more to do. Last one is 7. Okay, we can do 7. So this was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's 7. Okay, we're starting at 0 because we always start at 0. We want to know the distance from 0 to 7. So that's here. So we're going to count the spaces from 0 to 7. Count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 7 spaces. So the absolute value of 7 equals 7 spaces. So the answer is 7. Okay? So pretty simple to do. Remember that the absolute value is the distance between a number of 0 and that distance is always positive. Always, always and forever, because we're counting the actual spaces. A positive number of spaces from one number to the other. Okay? So that's how we figure out absolute value. Let's go back to our goal. All right, the goal says today we will practice finding absolute values of numbers. We just did that. The question is, what does absolute value tell you about the number? Everybody, what does it tell you? It is the distance from 0, the positive number of spaces from one number to 0. That's what absolute value is. Okay? All right, that's all that I have for you today. Pretty simple lesson. Hopefully it's making sense to you. Now you know what the straight lines mean. All right, my darlings, that's it. Talk to you soon. Bye.